Hello, everyone. This is Kelly Beard of KarmicTools.com, and this is your weekly forecast for October 2nd to the 8th of 2022. So this is a celebration. Opening day on Sunday the 2nd, Mercury goes direct in Virgo, and it'll finish up Virgo until October 11th when it'll re-enter Libra and keep it moving. Well, it may be going direct, but it's not necessarily done with the current upgrade, review, reset, and processing that we're engaged in at this time. We only have about a week to make sense of the changes we've been through before it's time to move into the new consciousness and start expressing in all new ways. So let's use that time to truly process and integrate whatever came into our conscious awareness over the last 3, 6, or 9 weeks, because it's time for some discernment and discrimination. You're going to have to choose or decide which ideas are worth investing more energy, time, and resources going forward. It's time to get organized and create space to anchor these new ideas and integrate them into the new rhythm that is emerging. This is also an opportunity to do some personal healing of the mental body. We've been cracked open to all new consciousness in recent years, and there's more to come. So it's a good idea to use any Mercury retrograde to time out, pause, and reflect. Recalibrate your mental input and output. Consider how much you are taking in, processing, and putting to good use, and how much you are cultivating your own unique ideas and sharing them with others. We've had an opportunity to restore our mental health and balance, and in doing so, we can go forward to have more successful and fulfilling interactions with others. This extended stay on the Virgo-Libra cusp is going to affect your Virgo, Pisces, and Gemini, Sag, as well as your Libra, Aries, and Cancer, Capricorn departments by default. As you shift your consciousness, change your thinking, and make new choices, then new opportunities and collaborations will be the result. Before you engage others at this higher level, it is best to finish the retrograde review of your own ideas, thoughts, and concepts around socializing and interacting with others, and how you would like to do that in a new and different way. With it going direct, it's a good time to review that area of life. In this case, your Virgo and Libra houses, right? So we're back in the Virgo house, straightening up our individual selves so that we can go back into the Libra house and interact with others at a new level. And I'm still excited to offer my first digital download and self-study course for this Mercury retrograde. And I'm doing a flash sale for only $75 to get all the custom goodies. I've developed 3 parts to honor both the shadow periods, before and after, as well as your custom Mercury activations, which will guide you through exactly what Mercury is touching in your own chart during this time, so that you can co-create consciously. There are also many other tools included, plus we just circled up on September 29th, so if you'd like that replay too, let me know. Now we jump to Wednesday, October 5th, for Vesta going direct in Aquarius. So she'll be there until November 20th when she goes back into Pisces. So here's another one that's been retrograde and direct over a cusp of Aquarius and Pisces. This has actually turned into a 1-year process, March of 22 to February of 23, which has several implications. First of all, Vesta is what is sacred, not just important or valuable, but sacred to you, the individual. She's the part of us that is completely dedicated and sometimes so focused on one thing, so much so that we forget about the other parts of life. So it can be where we get extreme as well. So with Vesta at the end of the zodiac, lingering in Aquarius, Pisces, she has been leaning on a particular area of life in those 2 houses, asking us all to check in with those departments. For almost this entire year period, which is spring to spring of 22 to 23, Vesta's going back and forth over the Aquarius-Pisces cusp. In Aquarius, Vesta is super focused on freedom, independence, sovereignty, almost at the expense of deeper connections with others. In this place, she can be the ultimate humanitarian. She can also be the true free spirit who can be intimate without the chains of commitment, demands, or expectations. When she's in Pisces, she's more of a dreamer, the artist who can convey the deepest meaning through any medium of expression. In Pisces, it's easier to get carried away with your visions and dreams, and there's a tendency to need better boundaries and good systems in place so that you can determine the necessary steps for manifesting those dreams. These dynamics are very different from each other, so we'll experience this back and forth between feeling free and sovereign, but also of being one with all life. Ultimately, I think it will be a good review that helps us recalibrate those very dynamics. How much freedom and how much unity and community do you need as an individual? Time to meditate on that and set up your structures accordingly. Then Thursday the 6th, Mercury's now direct, trining Pluto for the third and final time. Its first hit was August 22nd, then it hit again on September 27th, and then this week, October 6th, is the final hit. So this is when we can start putting the pieces together around what kind of transformation of consciousness we've had with this ease and grace, these easy changes, things we know we're done with, things we know that have run their course in terms of our ideas, thoughts, and concepts, and how we think and how we express. A lot of that is done, and we're calling in a whole new level. So this activation makes any deep delving within easier and more fruitful. It encourages you to ask the deeper questions, clarify your deeper feelings, and trust your intuitive gut feelings that are telling you something has to die so that some other aspect of your consciousness can live. You will want to explore your inner self, sort through recently gathered information, and try to understand better what your natural process really is. It is best to be alone for such research. Take a day or a week and grab your most powerful books and music and get somewhere beautiful if you can. If not, then your bedroom will do just fine. And dig deep. You are finally ready for the deeper truth, and you will be transformed by what you learn. If you must communicate with others, plan on that being deep as well. So best to talk to a trusted advisor or wise elder. Nothing superficial today. The only warning with this energy is not to become obsessive about one particular idea, and certainly don't try to force any ideas on others. If you feel the deep need to focus on one particular thing, that is okay, but try to keep some perspective or write down all your revelations so that you can reflect on them at a later time when you can be more objective and prioritize better. Deep breath. So we're still in process. Don't get it twisted. And I should mention here that anytime planets are changing signs or changing direction, they slow down and their energies intensify and kind of beam down on us, this intense energy. So let's be mindful this week. As much as we don't have a lot of activations, we do have a lot of planets shifting. And so that's got us still in a sort of holding pattern in a lot of ways. Then we jump to Saturday the 8th for Pluto to go direct in Capricorn. Pluto is in a long evolutionary and transformative process, 2008 to 2024, and it's traveling through the Capricorn sector of your chart, digging deep and activating any other planets you may have in Capricorn or Cancer, Aries, and Libra by default. So it's good to look at this as an ongoing purification and transformation in this department of life, and subsequently the other three areas too. However, 2023 brings its first dip into Aquarius, and it will retrograde at 0 degrees Aquarius. So this retrograde direct this year in 2022 is special because we're wrapping things up in Capricorn once and for all. Pluto moves generations and great numbers of people along their evolutionary path. However, every year when it retrogrades, it turns that energy inward, giving us unique access to our own depths where our soul self resides. When it goes forward, like today, it is a very gradual awakening process that develops from there. Transformation happens behind the scenes and often out of the prying eyes of others, as well as your own conscious mind, because this is deep soul work that only you can do. What have you really purified and transformed this year? Or what would you like to? On a personal level, Pluto helps you dig up any destructive, unconscious patterns, strips you raw, and confronts you with who you are and how you will survive when nothing and no one else is available to help or support you. I like to think of Pluto as our buried treasures. And like diamonds, it requires a very special task to release them from within and bring them into the light. Often, Pluto rules death, rebirth, and transformation. So something is sacrificed for your own greater good. Although it is sometimes painful and can be debilitating to some, it doesn't have to be. But it is almost always A, necessary, and B, ultimately liberating. We call this the liberating ordeal. The retrograde afforded a certain purification in the sense that you are now better able and supported to truly let go. Strip away the non-essential in order to reconnect with your original intent. Change is greatly supported at this time, so anything that you are really ready, truly willing, and finally able to change can be transformed forever. Capricorn gets everyone focused on choices and responsibilities, as well as the structure of life that supports and protects you, and the overall stability of whatever house it rules. Okay, deep breath. So we want to be doing the best we can to upgrade that Capricorn department and prepare for Aquarius. And here you might want to hear Kelly Isms 101 with my take on Pluto. In the 80s, it moved through Scorpio, digging up all that was toxic around sex and death and power and money, taxes and resources. All kinds of things came out in the 80s, much of which we are dealing with the outcome of now, by the way. But then Pluto moved on to Sagittarius. In the 90s is when the Vatican got exposed and a lot of the organized religion started breaking down because it had grown toxic and run its course and needs to be reformed, literally. Now we're coming to the end of its journey through Capricorn, and we know it's been digging up in corporations, education, healthcare, government, institutions that serve society, okay, that need to serve the people, all getting reset, rebirthed, renewed on the deepest possible level, 250-year cycle. Now, as it starts its move through Aquarius, this is time for an upgrade to humanity itself. We're not going back to slave times, so we have to be sovereign. We're not going to let other people dominate us. We're going to be independent and conscious and committed, contributing citizens so that no one has to do that. No one has to run our lives because we run our lives ourselves just fine. But it's definitely shifting to humanity and the future. And how are we going to do this with the planet going through her changes, humanity going through its changes, the rebirth of an age, the Aquarian age is coming in right now as well. So there's, micro to macro, there's our little individual paths, there's our social paths, and our collective paths that we're all walking together this lifetime. And upgrades abound. That's all I can tell you. Change your mind and your ass will follow. So we've just moved through a Mercury retrograde. Mars is on its way. I believe it goes backwards in Gemini October 30th. Okay, the minute Mercury moves into Scorpio on the 29th, Mars goes backwards on the 30th. So like I said, the minute we change our minds, our choices and actions need an upgrade too, because now our thinking's different. Our ideas have been infused in a different way. It's time to do things a different way. And even if we can't implement them before the end of the year, just know that spring is a rebirth for all of us. And everything will be visible by then that's working under the surface right now or behind the scenes right now. And the last thing I want to say is it's last call for the ancestor work to get in on it with me and Yay. So hopefully you can get your registration in before this last day, Saturday, October 8th will be the last time you can register that it makes sense, because then we only have about 4 classes left after that. But it's very powerful work to do on your own, but it's even more powerful when you get together with other people to do it. So please think of joining us this year. And if not, know that we do it every fall. So we'll be back next year with Cracking the Ancestral Code. And next week is the Venus cycle midpoint. So we really got to dive into that one, also in Libra. So we've had all this Libra energy woken up. Now we're about to put it to good use. So hopefully you can make that community event next week. All right, everyone. Hope you have a fantastic week. Reach out if you need to. This is Kelly Beard of Karmic Tools signing off.